And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and it is Adrian Chenault, and it is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. And we are super pumped. We have loved this woman for a long time, and I just watch her and I love her more every minute. But before we get there, I have two things I want to talk to you about. Number one is my undying love for my little boy, Adrian. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Dad?
Don't you love Rebecca?
I really, really do. I was so stoked when I saw she booked. This is going to be fun.
She's the best and smart, completely well-rounded in life, had a big life, but so grounded, it's unbelievable. And you guys are going to love her. But next week's show, you got to start mobilizing right now because we're going to have Dave Grimaldi on here. And he is the big shot that talks to the feds about the network marketing profession on our behalf. And what we want to do is get so many people on the show that they can't ignore us, because we have been trying to get like front and center stage with these people for a long time. And the big network marketing companies pay big money and they grab the stage, but we want to get ourselves in the door and firmly planted. And we're going to do it next week by having a gigantic show. So it's just fitting that a gigantic presence in the coaching and personal development world is with us today. And that's the one and only Rebecca Whitman. How are you?
I am great. I am loving my new life in Cincinnati, and I am so glad to spend time with you. I met you a few years ago, and through your amazing contact mapping, we've stayed in touch. We've become friends. You've been on my show, and I met your wonderful son at an event, and I feel like I'm family with you guys. So this is going to be such a fun conversation.
And I got to meet your adorable husband.
You did, yes.
And he's like a stick in his own right. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So give us a little optic about you, about your life, where you've been and why you're so excited about. And I see these magazines covers everywhere where, I mean, you get more publicity than literally anybody I know. You are the not the man, you're the woman. So that's really, really cool. So talk a little bit about your past and how you got to where you are right now.
Yeah, well, I have had some pretty amazing publicity, but it wasn't always that way. Not too long ago, I was sitting in a therapist's office in LA, and the therapist's office was very peaceful with bone broth in the kitchen and a Buddha Feng Shui fountain and incense. But what was happening in the office was my ex-husband and I were screaming at each other. And it got so loud and heated that the therapist was like, time out, stop screaming. She looked me right in the eye and she said, Rebecca, do you want to be married? And a voice came through me that wasn't my own. And I said, I just want a life of ease, grace, and spiritual dignity. And that moment changed my life. I left that marriage. I wrote a book called How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time, where I described that there are 7 key pillars of life. And when you have all 7 pillars of life in alignment, you can be, do, or have anything you want. I call those pillars the 7 pillars of abundance. And now I'm on a mission to help everyone, especially midlife women, go from burned out and overwhelmed to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. And that's what I do coaching on and wellness events. And I love it. And I have a podcast called The Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show. And that's how I got to be doing what I'm doing.
Wow. That's super interesting. So I thought in particular, this idea that you're sort of in this really intense moment, you're asked this question and something kind of like comes out of you that you don't know where that came from. I'm sure you have reflected on that over the years since that happened. And what do you think that was all about in that moment?
Well, I think that was God, whatever you want to call it, universe, higher power. I choose to call it God. And it was like my burning bush moment. And in that moment, I realized that my whole life had been about looking good on the outside. I wanted to be married to this person, even though I knew they were not the right person for me, because I wanted to look good and be married by a certain age. And in that moment, I just realized that it's more important to feel good in my own skin than to look good to other people. And I have been having a whole different life ever since. I mean, I was in LA pursuing acting. I had small parts on big shows like Friends, CSI, and 24. I don't really care about acting anymore because I realized I was just doing it for the applause and the attention. So now I'm doing everything that I can to be of service and be like just a light in the world.
So I have just read a book that fits directly into what you're talking about, called All the Way to the River. Have you heard about it or read it?
No, who wrote it?
Elizabeth Gilbert.
Oh, she's amazing.
And she's the one that wrote Eat, Pray, Love, you guys. And she says she's directly responsible for 23 million women, probably including Rebecca, leaving their marriages to go grab a life they love. And so she did that and did exactly right. She did exactly what Rebecca's doing. And then she went out in the world. And the next thing you know, she falls in love with her hairdresser of all people, who is of the same sex. So that gets all convoluted in the whole shot. And she leaves the husband, marries the hairdresser. Hairdresser gets cancer. But through this unbelievable book, she finds herself like at a level that you found yourself. And I'm so in awe of it because I read the book between the time we booked you and the time that you're on this show. And I'm going, she's our Elizabeth Gilbert, because you found yourself, you found your voice, and you found out it wasn't about the things, it was about finding you, which is beautiful. And thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Well, I did watch the movie and read the book, Eat, Pray, Love, and I still married the wrong person. So I think I might have found her book a few years too early, but I'm excited to read this one. And I'm really excited about just this whole new era because I wanted to be like, I spent my whole growing up in Cincinnati, Ohio, thinking I was too cool for school and I got to get out of this town and it's the Midwest. And oh my God, I can't even believe I'm from here. And I'm like a city girl and I lived in New York City and I lived in LA. And now I am falling in love with my hometown and falling in love with the people and just the whole Midwest sensibility. And I'm living 5 minutes from my old high school. I'm living around the corner from where my mom grew up. I'm playing tennis at the indoor tennis club where I spent my entire childhood playing every day after school because I was a nationally ranked tennis player. And it's like, I've really done a full circle with my life and it's amazing and shocking. And I'm so happy.
Wow. That's dang cool.
That is cool. And you know, it's interesting, some of that sort of theme of full circle and maybe just kind of how that might play into your business and your coaching life as well, right? Of like, there's kind of this pattern maybe of like, we see something that we put up on some pedestal as some sort of ideal. We like live into this thing that, you know, may or may not really fit us over a period of time. And then somehow this sort of has a way of coming back around. And so is that something that you have like observed and that fits into this model and these pillars that you have created and that you've used to work with clients, Rebecca?
Well, I think it's about living life holistically in 7 areas. And there's different levels of excellence. So it's spirituality, fitness, emotions, romance, mindset, social, and financial life. And a lot of people have one area where they're crushing. Like, let's say somebody is, you know, making 7 or 8 figures financially, but they don't have time to date, or someone is a total gym rat, professional bodybuilder, and they don't have any time to like socialize with friends because they're always too busy working out. So it's really about living life holistically in these 7 areas so that you can experience a balanced, a beautiful, and abundant life.
So you're building these masterminds where you're grabbing these women and everybody's getting together. You primarily coach women, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I looked at a lot of those things that you're doing, and it seems to me like you're just trying to mold better human beings out of everybody, you know, where they're not so type A one place and trying to be everything in all other categories, but they have no clue. You're showing people whole living, which is so critical. You know, everybody was shocked when I married Denise because she was completely opposite of me. But if I would have married a carbon copy of me, and I could give a couple names on people in here that I really thought that I was going to end up marrying, somebody like maybe Michelle Barnes, or maybe Haley Hobson. She was already married, or maybe
Oh my
Cindy,
God, I know them both very well. They're both
maybe
incredible
Cindy
women.
Samuelson, but they were drivers, and I knew them quite well. And I always, at some point in my life, I'm going, man, I want to have somebody just like them. But if I'd have gotten them, there would have been blood in the streets. I needed somebody that was going to complete me, make me look good, make her look good, that knew exactly what her side of the road looked like, so I could figure out what my side of the road looked like, and we could combine, kind of like Brooke and Kimmy, where we've got different, maybe even careers, but we're building toward a giant thing called great relationship. That's what you're striving for, right?
Exactly. And I'm a recovering type A overachiever, and I didn't want to burn out. I mean, we all love Jessie Lee, may she rest in peace, but I always talk about her as a cautionary tale because she was, making almost 7 figures a month in the height of her network marketing career, and she died at 34 because she didn't prioritize her health, and her body gave out with that kind of crazy work ethic. So yeah, it's about having success, but not doing it in a way that creates dis-ease in the body or unhappiness in the soul.
There you go. There you go. So when somebody comes to you, how do you help them to check in on this stuff? And maybe like you said, right? Maybe there's a couple areas that are really great. There's a couple areas that are in the middle. There's a couple areas that are tough. Like how do you help them to figure out where to go and put their energy?
Well, what's working in the areas that are going well is what's missing in the areas that are not going well. So for example, with my love life, I was romantically challenged for many years, and I would get so stressed out if there was somebody that I liked and I was dating them and they didn't return a text. It was like a 5-alarm fire, but I was always a top producer in all commission sales. Made 6 figures every year, started at zero. Like I had no anxiety at all around making money in all commission sales. So I had a coach, and he's like, well, what are you doing in your sales career that you're not doing in your love life? And I was like, well, I just know that I'm always going to get more leads. And I know that I have a great product. And I know that if somebody else doesn't want it, someone else will. And that it has nothing to do with me personally. And he's like, well, why can't you have that same attitude in dating? And then when I applied what was working in my finances to my love life, it started to shift. So I would tell people, let's look at what's going well in your life and what can we apply toward what's not going so well. And then the other thing is we have limiting beliefs in certain areas. And I have a framework called the 4 A's of transformation to help people get over limiting beliefs, which we can also talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about that overcoming limiting beliefs, because I think that's a huge part of the equation.
Well, since this show is an amazing show for network marketers, let's talk about a limiting belief that a network marketer might have. So maybe they would say that, oh, network marketing, it works for other people like Tom because he's like superstar legend, but it's never going to work for someone like me. Things like that just don't work for me. I'm not cut out for network marketing. So that would be the limiting belief. So the 4 A's of change, the first A is awareness. I have a limiting belief about network marketing. The second A is acceptance. Don't think, oh my God, I listen to the Legacy Leadership Show every week. Adrian and Tom have taught me for years about being positive. I can't believe after listening to hours and hours of their show, I still have a negative attitude about network marketing. I mean, what's my problem? So don't beat yourself up about it. Accept it. The third A is an affirmation. So what's the opposite of I'm terrible at network marketing, it's not going to work for me, is I'm great at network marketing. Network marketing is so easy and fun for me. And then the fourth A is to take action. A contrary action that's the opposite of the limiting belief. So if you think network marketing is too hard and it's not going to work for me, you're not going to reach out to people. You're not going to follow up. You're not going to ask people if they're open to taking a look at your product or opportunity. So then contrary action would be, I'm going to reach out to 5 people a day just for 3 days in a row. And I'm going to ask them if they're open to taking a look at this opportunity. So that would be the 4 A's of transformation with regard to network marketing.
Nice. Okay. And so we were having a good chat before the show, and one of the things that you talked about that I think would be maybe a cool illustration here, right, is that you actually had a limiting belief of your own in terms of the way to approach people and how you might be perceived. So talk a little bit about that and what that transformation was like for you.
So I was a Pamela Spamela when it comes to sales and network marketing. I was copy and pasting to the point of ending up in Facebook jail. It was not working. People were like actually offended, like, I'm a human here. Stop treating me like a robot. And it wasn't really working for me. So I started really asking people questions and connecting, doing virtual coffees. And that started working a lot better. I got a few promotions in my last network marketing. And then I met your wonderful dad, and he taught me his coffee shop technique when he was on my show. And I'm like, wow, if virtual coffees are fun, how much more fun are in-person coffees going to be? So I started doing in-person coffees and really asking great questions and getting to know people. And yes, I have signed people up on my network marketing company, but I've also made friends, got speaking gigs, had, invitations to parties. Like, so many different things have opened up since having these coffee shop conversations that it's absolutely changed my life. So thinking of people before profit and being more relational than transactional was a shift that I had to learn to make in my business and in my life. And it's made my life so much richer.
That's awesome.
It's really phenomenal what you've accomplished. And what I've loved about you is, you went to Princeton. I mean, you're like the coach of the year, and you've got these accolades. You're an actress and all this jazz that would intimidate anybody sitting across the table from you. But what really struck me was what a learner you are. And very few people actually embrace what has made me so successful. Like, I'm not a smart guy. I just absolutely am interested to a point of obsession, and I take great notes to a point of obsession, and I can literally remember anything about anybody because I write it down. And I had that conversation with you, and you completely grabbed it, and you stopped treating people like prospects. You treated them like human beings, and they might not have signed up for your business, but they sure as heck signed up for being a part of your life and helping you with everything else you had going. Are you playing pickleball yet? Are you?
I'm playing tennis, which I went back to doing that after a 25-year hiatus. And it's been very mentally challenging for me because I went from playing Division I tennis to playing ladies interclub. And I am working on reframing it as for fun and exercise and not making it all about winning. And I have had to put my ego in my back pocket many times in the last few months.
Well, you got to get together with Rob Sperry, who was like the tennis player, and Richard Brook, who is, I bet he spends $10,000 a month just on pickleball lessons. And those two can help you, because I'm telling you, you would rock it. And I tell you,
At pickleball.
At pickleball, they are crushing it. And that's more your, John, what do you call it? The age group.
Age group.
No, not geriatric. Anyway, forget about it. I was just thinking about all the things you accomplish, and I could just imagine you being the queen of the coaching pickleball people. So that's unbelievable.
I'll take that into consideration. Actually, somebody that I played on the Princeton team with is a professional pickleball player, and she says a lot of college tennis players are embracing pickleball and they're loving it.
There you go.
So cool.
So, Rebecca, you have gone through a bit of a professional reset, not of your own making, over the last 6 months. And there are a whole lot of people in our world who found themselves in that same boat. And I'd love for you, you had become a coach before this kind of interruption to your own narrative of building your network marketing business came along. And it sounds to me like whether you wanted it to happen or not, of course you didn't, that there's this laboratory of you actually getting to go and apply all the things you learned building it the first time, apply all these coaching principles that you've been able to share with others, and go and put those things back to work. And so what has that been like for you, and what have you learned along the way?
Well, it's very similar to tennis. Coming back, it feels like a comeback. It feels like a starting over, but yet I learned all the lessons that I learned. This is my 9th network marketing company. I've been in and around the profession since 1994. Wow. So I haven't regretted one moment of it. It's taught me so much about people and psychology and management and sales and teams. So I feel like, but the last deep dive I took was 5 years of really concentrated effort, and then the company closed, and I still have those skills, especially online skills. I mean, it was like getting a master's degree in social media marketing, and I've been able to use that to build my new network marketing company, but also build my personal brand. So that has been absolutely amazing. And now part of my coaching business is coaching women on creating an online brand. So that's been amazing. And it is humbling to start over, but because I've been in so many network marketing companies, I know how to start over. And I know just if you keep going and you don't give up and you ask enough people, if they're open to taking a look, that eventually you're going to meet the right people. And I don't know if I'll end up like a legend in network marketing like you, Tom, but it's really, I love the profession. I love health and wellness products. I love community. I love events. So I'm just enjoying it.
I think the people that are fastest to go back to basics. And again, I go back to Richard Brook, who had a huge mastermind last weekend, lots and lots of people. And what I loved about what came out of that was people going back to basics, talking to human beings, using all this tech. And another person, I'm talking about Brooke one more time. He's a big fan and has had actually Seth Godin on his show. But Seth wrote a beautiful article today about the fact that everybody's using tech. They aren't admitting it, but they're all using tech to be better at what they are, whether they're writers or whether they're tech people or anything. And somebody like you's got the intellect to integrate those two things, but it's all about the people and the relationship, right?
It is. And, I've met people in person, gotten to know them, done the coffee talk conversation, but then they follow me on social and they're like, oh, I had no idea you did this and that. Will you co-host this event with me? Can I try that product you've been sharing about in your story? So the two really go together. I don't feel like it's a either or, but it's a both and.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's cool. I think that's actually a really interesting, practical little tip, right? Like the stuff you're doing with your brand online is kind of doing that talking for you. And that enables you to then just go and be connectional, be relational. And that person's going to probably want to then go figure out what you're about. Maybe you say, hey, you might still even initiate, I'm going to, let's connect on social or whatever. But like them getting curious about what you're doing happens in a sort of one-to-many way as you're doing what you're doing. They don't have to feel spammed in any way. It's much more kind of that attraction. And so that's really cool.
Well, and I work, I don't know if you guys know Marty Hale, but he's kind of got all these influencers coming into network marketing on a whole different level, because those influencers are finding out that those people buy it, but they don't buy them. And then those people get those people and they go off to the next thing that they're representing, and there's no residual income. And what you're doing is exactly the opposite. You're teaching people to be real, maybe become influencers, but be much, much better at creating that glue, because people will join you with a click, but they're going to leave you with a click. And an old dinosaur like me, 74 years old, I am so happy that these people, you can call them boring. You can call them non-influencers. You can call them ma and pop. You can call them whatever I call them wonderful, because they just come back every month and buy more, because we treat them like they matter, where no one else in the world is doing that. And that's what I hope to heck you are doing with all these people you're training and bringing into your business. You're treating them like the great people that they are, instead of having some sort of whiz bang expectation for them that obviously 90% of the people can't meet that expectation we put on people. I am very happy about the fact that I drop people off right where they want to be versus where my agenda sends them. So that, I hope that's what you're doing, and I'm sure you are, and I'm sure you're going to, in this ninth company, crush it. And I'm excited.
Well, I like that you're meeting people where they are, because that's something that I used to not do. And I used to sign people up, and as fast as I signed them up, I would blow them out of the water by like, come on, let's run, let's go, let's go. Why weren't you on that Zoom? Why did you, let's get your sales in. And they're like, get away from me, crazy lady. So I am learning to love people and meet them where they are, and run with those who want to run, and walk with those who want to walk, and sit with those who want to sit. And you're so good at that, Tom, loving people where they are and not pressuring people, because getting things done through pressure and control is just not, it doesn't feel good.
Well, they're going to run anyway. I mean, if they want to get yelled at and browbeat and shamed, they can go just back in the cubicle at their job. This thing is about, we just formed a Facebook group called Love Like Crazy, Then Love More. I don't know if you've gotten in there yet, but John Milton Fogg, the famous networking guy, he's the guy, and he put together this thing, and he's just gluing the people together with inclusiveness, love, community, and communication to a level I can't even believe my eyes. I mean, I read his wall, and I'm literally got tears in my eyes. And if you can remember the last long conversation you and I had on the telephone, it was kind of about this very same topic of people just not willing to do what you wanted them to do. And it was getting a little frustrating for you. But what I love about you was you looked in the mirror, you switched the whole thing to no agenda, just loving them. And I've watched what you've created. It's magical. And I'd hire you for a coach, because you're playing with your heart, not your head, with all that Princeton education and all coach of the year and all those accolades. What we're seeing is the real Rebecca. Somebody put that in the comments a minute ago, and that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much. And I was really frustrated. I had only been here a couple months, and I'm like, all right, I'm having these coffee shop conversations and nothing's happening. Nobody's buying my products. They're not hiring me as a coach. They're not signing up in my network marketing business. Like, are you sure this works? And you're like, yep, just keep loving people and asking those questions. And sure enough, it started to work. And you know what? At the end of the conversation, when somebody says, you know what, Rebecca, I don't know a thing about you. I've talked about myself the whole time. That means I did it right. I'm like, you'll learn about me, and we'll see you soon. And that's the end of the conversation.
Eric Worre's got a great thing at the end of his close is something that I use all the time. And one of the things is, well, how did you like this conversation? And the people go, God, it was unbelievable. I go, what'd you love most about it? And they go through all that. And I go, no, that wasn't what you love all about it. You talked about your favorite topic the entire conversation, which is you. That's why you loved it so much. And where we got to was I asked you questions about you, wound you up. I literally interrogated you. I took notes. I can put you now on a rotation of remember, ask you about Princeton, ask you about Cincinnati, ask you about the acting world, ask you about all that, because I've got it, and I'm not going to step on my tongue, because your favorite topic is you as much as my favorite topic is me. And what you love most about me is what I remember about you, and you got it. And you're teaching people that. And I am so happy about that, because we can send people to your training and your coaching.
Amazing. Well, I love both of your software. I mean, I use the contact mapping and the Now site, and they're both game changers as far as because I've always been a networker, and I love meeting people, but I had business cards and torn pieces of cocktail napkins that ended up in the bottom of car seats. And like, it was all over the place. And now that I have contact mapping, I have everything in one place, and I don't feel like I'm letting contacts slip through my fingers. And with the Now site, it's just if I have like a brain fart and I don't want to think of anything on my social media, I love the feature where I can just say, surprise me. And then like my post is done for the day. So both of you guys have technology that has really enhanced my life.
No.
Yes.
Adrian's done it. And Ollie, in fact, the other day, that surprised me thing, I hit that button and it popped up a poll. And I've never used a pole in my life. I don't even know what a pole is. I thought it was a dance, like a stripper pole or something. So I hit the button and on the thing just to see what was going to come up. And more people have hit that post with the answer to the question that I subliminally asked in that. I just still can't believe what a absolute wizard you are. And I just want to thank you for being my mentor.
Yeah. And I want you to show me how to create a website in like 5 minutes, because I don't know if I have that feature. And I think that feature is really amazing too. So there's just so many cool features on Now site.
Yeah, we'll help you. We aren't here to talk about Now site.
We're here to talk about me. See, you trained me so well to be a coffee shop talker that
you really are. You're interviewing the interviewer and throwing accolades the wrong direction. How do people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Instagram at Rebecca E. Whitman, Facebook, Rebecca Whitman. I have a website, RebeccaWhitman.com, and I have this pillar.io/Rebecca E. Whitman link. On that link, you're going to find all of my upcoming events. You're going to find my podcast, all the different events that I participate in. I have a really fun event coming up in November. It's called the Soulful Slumber Party, where we're getting pajamas and we're going to a fancy hotel, and then we're going to do like a branding.
Is it co-ed or just women?
It's just women, but it's already sold out, but I'm going to do another one in February, and I'm going to start doing them all over the country. Soulful Slumber Parties. So just make sure you follow me so you can keep updated on all my fun events that I have coming up. And you'll definitely want to hear my podcast, The Balanced, Beautiful, and Abundant Show. Go to pillar.io. Oh, and I have a gift for everyone on pillar.io/Rebecca E. Whitman. It's called the Balanced Beautiful Bundle. You're going to get a copy of my book, How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. You'll get ageless beauty tips. You'll get an abundance journal. You'll get daily reminders to write in the abundance journal, and you'll get the Elegant Warrior Manifesto. So you'll get all that if you find the pillar.io link /Rebecca E. Whitman.
That is pretty darn cool.
That was a rollout, man. She had that baby dialed in. Okay, so if you want people to call you on the phone, they're going to call you on the phone with absolutely no agenda whatsoever except to learn from you. What are you going to tell them that they've got a fighting chance to win this deal? Because so many people are scared that it works for Adrian, it works for Tom, it works for Rebecca, but it won't work for them. I think that's hogwash. I think you've figured out the key to that. And all of us need to know it because we're scared. We don't know. And there are so many people. It's unbelievable how many people are getting laid off from their jobs right now. The AI is eating the tech people alive. They don't have any people skills. They know that they had them, but they lost them because they got caught in the grind. They want to come back and start playing tennis again, but they still have a wooden racket. They got to get a new racket and they got to hang with you. That's I have no idea when I went down that path.
That was an analogy. I followed you as a tennis.
I don't know. Isn't that the truth though? You can help them out of that, can't you?
I would just say if you are new in the industry or thinking about coming back, just asking people if they're open to taking a look at something that you're really excited about, and then send them a tool, whether that is a 2-minute video or giving them an actual product sample if you're in person, inviting them to a call with your mentor, inviting them to an opportunity Zoom, not making yourself the salesperson, getting yourself out of the way, and just saying it may or may not be for you, but I just want you to take a look. And whenever I say that to people, they just relax. When I say it may or may not be for you, I just want you to take a look. This could be really great for you. And ask people if they're open, and then refer them to a third-party tool. And then don't take it personally, because it will take many no's sometime to get to a yes, and it's easy to take it personally. I know that I sometimes still do to this day, but they're never saying no to you as a person. It's always something else. It's the product, it's the opportunity. Maybe they're saying no to their own, hopes and desires, but don't take it personally and just keep going. Like, it is literally a numbers game. And I think, Tom, you're a testimony to that, because you have so many big numbers behind you. I mean, I can't even imagine all the no's that you must have gotten to build the business that you have, but it's like the person who has the most no's makes the most money. So think of a no as a good thing.
Yeah. But if you want to catch a mouse, you have to think like a cheese. And I want you guys to get that, because I hate no. I mean, I am the closet introvert. I am so bad that I set the stage up to avoid the no.
How do you do that?
Well, you go to the coffeeshopinterview.com, get enough information that you find out what they hate and find out what they love. And then you call them back 3 days later and ask them about what they love, and don't bring up what they hate. And you got a pretty good chance of having them say yes. It's just so many people are agenda driven and throwing up on people. It's unbelievable. And before we get out of here, I'm going to show you one thing that just happened to me over the last couple of days, because I'm always testing and people don't realize it. So one of the things I did when I was on the cruise ship in Alaska is you're in there on that boat for 8 hours. And so I just all day long, I texted people, when's the last time somebody thought about you from Alaska? And you can't believe how many people told me a story about nobody ever thinking about them, or somebody from Alaska thinking about them. So I thought that was interesting, the kind of engagement I got off of that. So then I'm thinking, what can I do to get that kind of engagement in a new text round? So the last couple of days, I've been asking, I'm saying, what are you doing now? Or I know what they're doing now. I really want to try to send you some business. And I said that way. And you're going to be shocked at how many tell me what they're doing now. Tell me how I can send them business. And then they say, how can I send you some? And that's pretty nice. Yeah. Plus the answer is real simple for me. You don't need to send me any, just buy what I'm selling. I got this whiz bang gizmo I'm going to sell you right now. Thanks for asking. Let's talk. But I am telling all, and that all came from that Now site thing with that dang button, because all of a sudden I'm creating a conversation that begs a close, and that as a result of knowing who they are and what they want to buy as a result of the coffee shop interview. So I'm telling you, I have no idea.
Love that. Yeah. How can I help you? And then people automatically want to help you back. I was off the rotation from the Alaska. Now I feel left out. I didn't get any text that,
that's because I wasn't behind. That's a great point again. So you weren't in a current rotation to that trip, because that thing rolls over about 30, 60, 90 days out. But you're going to be on the next one, baby cakes, because you got to be coming up. And I love all of you guys. And I love the game. And I love the game called Engagement with Human Beings as Friends of Mine, Serving and Giving. And that's what we're all about. We're going to give you, we got a sponsor of the show. I don't know if we mentioned that. And we're going to give you a beautiful sweatshirt. I'm sitting on it, so it's horrible. But it says on it, love like crazy, then love more.
I love it.
Fire your brain, hire your heart. And Michelle will get that to you. And amazing. Our job is to do everything we can to have you be happier. And one of my good friends, her husband was at Oshkosh, and he built a helicopter. And it was an amazing helicopter. And his grandson was in the stands. So was his kid. And he went straight up, and an airplane flew straight by and hit him and killed everybody. So this is 2 years ago, and his widow is a dear friend of mine in Cincy. And I'm going to come and buy you a cup of coffee and come and buy her a cup of coffee, give her a hug because she lost her husband and it's sickening, and you a hug because I love you. But that's on my list, so you can count on that. I was looking for another excuse to come to Cincinnati, so I think I'll probably come out for the pajama party.
You can crash the pajama party.
That joke took so long to set up. It's unbelievable. And it was horrible.
When am I going to see Adrian again?
I don't know. We got to make it happen soon, Rebecca. I'm coming to. You tell me when we're going to Graders headquarters, and I'll be there.
Put up what Richard Brooke just said, because he's exactly right. And he actually, there's Mr. ADD himself, and he listened to the whole show. It's a miracle. So, all right. Next week, Dave Grimaldi. You guys have got to be on. You've got to bring the world. We've got to unify the network marketing space to have a voice at the highest levels of government to make sure they know we're alive, because the company owners have kind of put a lid on us. And so Dave Grimaldi and all those big bureaucrats never really realized we have a giant army down here. And thank God for Ryan Chamberlain, who's a congressman or something or another, and a bunch of other people who have really helped get our voice out there. So I'm going to host a show next Tuesday. We're booting him off, and I'm bringing on Donna Johnson, who's the head of our ethics committee and the #1 person over at Arbonne, and Lisa Grossman, who's just a thought leader. So I wasn't going to do that. This is only telling the truth. I was going to interview Grimaldi by myself, and the board of the ANMP realized that, and they realized that I'm about as deep as an ant, and about it, they knew I knew nothing. So they've got me to bring these 2 other women who are smart to help me co-interview Grimaldi, and that's going to be a good thing, because it's going to be a hell of a show. So all of you need to come on and watch that show, help us promote it. We're going to start doing that right after this show today. Rebecca, you are I forgot to tell you one more thing. And I'm also, and I know we're going to get killed by the radio. We're on the radio now, and they hate that I kill their clock. So the last thing I want to tell you about that is the following week, I'm going to kick off Robert Hollis, if I can, and then bring in the entire ANMP board. So you guys, and I'll have them all on here, so you guys can all just tell us why you don't like the ANMP and why you're boycotting it, and you're hang up about this or hang up about that. And we're actually going to let you know what the ANMP is and why we do what we do, and how it's such a band of volunteers that get really tired of getting shot by everybody out there because we didn't do this or we didn't do that. So it's going to be fun, and hopefully I'll get all the board members to get on, and we'll have some fun. So the name of the game, everybody, is stay the course. We love you to death. Rebecca Whitman, you're a rock star. I'm coming to Cincinnati. I will see you all later. Love you, love you, love you. Congratulations on your new path. I know the company. I love that company. Congratulations. Bang,
Thanks,
bang.
everyone. Bye.
All right, Rebecca, see you all next week. Bye-bye.